Welcome to the Grit of the Matter, where we talk about what it takes to grow through life's unexpected challenges. I'm Denise, and this podcast is built on 5 pillars: grace, resilience, intentional, trust, and thrive. These conversations are for inspiration and education only and are not substitute for medical or professional advice. Please consult your qualified provider for your personal needs. If this resonates with you, be sure to like, follow, share, and make sure to turn on those notifications so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get to the grit of the matter.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Grit of the Matter. Today, I'm so excited to bring another guest into the show. I want to let you know that I've been excited about this one. I'm not even gonna kid you. Dana is my guest for today, and she is a colorful. If you see her already in the background, if you're seeing the audio, video portion of this, she's a very colorful, a very spirited person, and I absolutely adore her. So she talks about blogging and fashion and food and her beautiful puppy Piper. She has all these wonderful things. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to welcome Dana to the show. Hey Dana, how are you doing today? I'm so happy you're here.
I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you for joining me and opening up here on all the things you want to talk about today. So what I want to ask first is, for listeners that haven't met you and they're meeting you for the first time, tell us a little bit about you, your story, your journey, and what led you to do the work that you do now.
So I am basically, like you said, very colorful. I like exploring all things colorful, fashion, food, and fun. I have a little tiny 9-pound min pin. She's always with me. We do like little matching outfits and find fun things to do. But I love it. Now that I do this, I wouldn't want to do anything else. I feel like it allows me, because creativity is part of my soul. I like to be creative and fun. So I get to do a lot of things that I normally wouldn't have seen or do if I hadn't have done this. So, but it's not something I picked. It was kind of something that happened by chance. So I posted some things that went viral like 11 years ago by those standards, and it started to kind of grow and turn into its own thing. And I realized I can make some money from this, and I can actually do something that I love, like share my favorite things with everyone. So it just turned into its own thing. That's the best way I know how to explain it.
Yeah. So we've talked a few times in the background about some of the discussions that we might have. And you've mentioned that you had an accident. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? And how you moved past that, and maybe what part of that journey kind of helped you move forward? Was the accident before or after you started this? Did it kind of make your plan change or anything like that?
Well, it was before. It was when I was 21. At that time, I had everything on track. I was starting college. I was managing a florist because I used to be a floral designer. Creativity. But we were on our way back from setting up a funeral, and a drunk driver hit, like T-boned the car as we were coming out on Route 1. It messed me up for like 4 or 5 years. I had some serious injuries. I was in shock trauma for like about 5 months. It was crazy. I had a lot of surgeries, and I feel like that's where I started to have like anxiety and serious issues from that, because I realized no matter how careful I am and how I handle myself, I can't suffice for everybody else's selfish decisions. So it kind of made me feel like I wasn't in control, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So it started like anxiety stuff for me, but I guess I don't know how to explain it. After dealing with it for so long, you have to kind of get yourself past a point where you can enjoy your life again.
Mhm.
And my doctor recommended a service dog, or like an animal to take with you. And she's with me everywhere I go. And I started to realize this was the dog that I had before Piper. Her name was Nuna. When I had her with me, she kind of kept my brain from spiraling, from thinking about things and thinking myself into a bad situation. And it helped a huge deal. So that was a big part. But kind of the influencing thing helped me get my confidence back. I
Yeah.
was able to focus on all of that. So it was a crazy, crazy journey. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, you're very confident. I've known you for quite a while now, and that was one of the things that stand out to me whenever I see your videos and stuff like that. You do show yourself as very confident. So I want to go along with the service dog situation. If you were talking to somebody in a similar scenario, not necessarily the accident or anything like that, but if they're having any sort of issues like that, what do you recommend that they maybe research a service dog? Or, I mean, because you said it did help you.
100%. Like it's helped me in so many different situations. I feel like because you have to care for someone smaller than you, that depends on you, but in turn, you kind of depend on them. It's the perfect partnership.
Mhm.
And no matter what happens, they're never going to get mad at you. They're always going to love you and they're always going to be so happy. So I feel like it's just like the perfect partnership.
Yeah.
I definitely recommend it 100%.
I've noticed that personally, I've noticed that since I don't have kids at home anymore, right? Having them in the house to take care of, I've noticed that it does change your anxiety a little bit. And then I guess it's because you're trying to look for a purpose.
Yep.
Right. And so it does affect your confidence. So when you start building that confidence back up and it kind of opens up more doors. Do you feel like that? Is that what, you feel like as you started building that confidence, you maybe had a few more doors to open and it, gave you different avenues to look at.
Oh, I agree. And it's good for your health too, because when I was going through all of this stuff, because I had several surgeries, they put me on a lot of pain medications, which in
Mhm.
turn, I was not really mobile and I'd sit home and do nothing. And I was almost 200 pounds. I got
Mhm.
really heavy. And then the whole situation with the dog, I started to walk every day and she went with me. I started to exercise more. And all of these things you need to do to get your confidence back, to make you feel better about yourself. But knowing you have that little partner that's always going to have your back, that's going to be there, that works for your confidence too. So I feel like it saved me. That and staying busy with working and everything, those things are what saved me.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I can see that. And now let's go into your blogging stuff. I love to watch all your videos whenever you post them. And you do so many different things. Like you said, you do food, you do fun, you do clothes, you do all those wonderful things. So what is your favorite part of that? I mean, do you have a favorite out of those? Which would you rather do, the food? Would you rather do the clothes? Or is it kind of a mix of everything?
I think it's the colorful part. Like finding a way to make everything colorful, it kind of challenges my brain. Like if you have a picture in your head and you figure it's always going to be better in your head, you got to get it from there to the camera or this. I think that's the best part about it. It challenges me every day and keeps my brain constantly busy. So it
Yeah.
doesn't have time to think the bad things and to
Yeah.
think about yesterday or tomorrow. It just keeps me current.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it
Brain.
does. It does. Well, and with creative brains, they're
Always.
always thinking. They're always thinking of something. And I don't know if you're the same way, but I know me, if I start thinking, I start like thinking days ahead of like what ifs. I'm kind of like that. I don't get too bad about it, but I do that. No, I notice that sometimes, and then I have to just kind of like walk outside and take a deep breath and just be like, okay,
Reel
brain.
yourself in.
Yes.
Yeah. I try to stay away from that. It helps with my anxiety stuff.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. So, we've talked a little bit about being the colorful blogger, and you said that you were in the floral design, so that just kind of ventured over. So I know that was during you worked for the floral department or the floral place, and then you had your accident, and then you had your videos that went viral. And this had to have been somewhere amongst the time of COVID, right? Did
It was
COVID
actually
affect
way
you?
I'm so old.
You're not old.
It was actually okay. So what was the timeline? So I had to stop working at the floors for a long time because you stand up at a table on a concrete floor all day, and I had to have a steel rod put in my right femur and
Mm,
two surgeries on my hip and my knee, as opposed to many other things. But I couldn't stand like I used to.
mhm.
So I kind of tried to find another way to be creative. So I bought a camera and started taking pictures.
Yeah.
And I really, really like that. And I didn't have any plan to parlay that into anything. It was just to keep me busy. And it just turned into something else. So I feel like I'm always looking for something to be creative in some way or another.
Yeah. Well, I just have to say that you do a great job with what you do, and I know that I've had to ask you questions before, so
I got you, girl. I got you. I love you. I always got you.
Oh, wow. So how did you I know that you have a creative mind, but with the expressions, because when you create content, I know that I don't, and this may be a secret that you don't want to talk about. I see whenever I watch your videos, like you're so expressive in the way you speak and all of this stuff. When you curate that, I know I have issues, and it goes back. I keep saying I because there's so many things that you make look so simple. So, what would you tell someone would be the first thing that they need to do when they're trying to make their way in this kind of field? Whether it be they just want to be a content creator, whatever, but you make it look so easy on camera when people see what you do, but you work hours on this. Like it takes a long time. So what would you tell somebody if they're trying to do this and they're starting to get discouraged? I think is the best way that I want to say that. So if they're starting to get discouraged, what would you tell them as in encouragement or look, guys, don't give up on this if this is truly what you want to do, what would you tell somebody?
To just be you. Like, find your imperfections, stand on them, and scream, because that's what makes you unique. And there's always a million more people that feel the exact same way as you do. And if they feel like they can connect with you, that's going to build you the most strongest, amazing, and supportive audience. Just to be you, because if you're ever around me, you guys know this is exactly me.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
exactly the same person all the time. I know a lot of people that they're who they are, but they exaggerate it a little more, whatever it may be. But people can sniff out phoniness a mile away, and they don't want to kind of connect with that. But just keep plugging away, be consistent, and be you, like always you. And I think that that's why the most successful creators are successful, because they're just themselves.
Yeah. Oh, now I'm going to go ahead and add to that. So, what would you tell somebody if they go in and they're expecting to be a miracle overnight?
That very rarely happens. Like, for it to happen, you have to have something really special and different. I don't know, but you just have to stay consistent. That's the one thing with all of these platforms. Every video does not have to be perfect, but you just have to be consistent and keep plugging away at it. That's the one thing that I found that worked, where everything was concerned.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I hear a lot of people, and you've probably seen it on social media as long as you've been doing it. Whenever you see those people and they're like, "Oh, I made $1 million overnight," da, 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 da. And it's like they had to first off caught the algorithm just right, right?
Right.
They had to
Because
do that.
once you catch that train, you got to continue to ride it. And I think that, like, it's like a snowball going downhill. You got
Yeah.
to keep feeding it once you get that shine. But I feel like a lot of people BS too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of stuff they say it's A, B, or C. And I've seen people with like 3,000 followers think they're going to sell courses on how to be a creator. Like, I don't, that's your resume. You need more than that. But people do a lot of BSing. So,
Yeah. Well, and I know that, in all fun, whenever you're doing the content creating, you have to make it fun for you, right? You have to,
yeah.
um, that's where a lot of people, myself included, have a hard time with of making that the fun part of it. Because whenever you like, say for instance, when you had your accident and you was trying to build something online or whatever, when you're in the center of that, you were talking about something just a little bit ago, of how it took you a while to come out of after your injury, because everybody goes through that grief process. And that was what I didn't want to interrupt you when you said that, but everybody has that. I really do feel like whether you've lost a person or you've lost a part of you, everybody goes through that grief process.
Mhm.
So when you had that motivation and you started taking the pictures and things like that, that I'm sure that helped you kind of come out of that process, because it's hard. Whenever you go through something severe like that, it's really, really hard. So moving back to that injury, is there anything else that you would tell anybody else if they're going through something like that that you can remember? I know it was a long time ago, but anything that you could remember that might have helped you in that scenario that might help somebody else?
The same thing about being present, because for like 2 years I was so mad at that guy that was driving that car. I was so annoyed that like he made that decision to do that. But then I started to go to therapy and do different things, and I started to kind of get involved in other things just to keep moving forward and stay present and not looking back, because it's just going to drag you down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
stay busy.
Yeah, stay busy.
Busy.
And I talk to a lot of people about when they come in here of how many people feel like they're alone in a situation. So if you feel like you're alone, the first thing that you should do is talk about it.
Yeah,
You
I
agree?
agree.
Yeah,
Nobody's ever alone. There's always so many more people that's going through the exact same thing you are.
yeah. And I think when they feel like, when you feel like you're misunderstood, somebody's not listening, or you feel like you're alone in that, it makes you go further down into your tunnel.
Yeah, it
Uh,
does. It makes you bore in. It
yeah,
does.
yeah. And then you start digging so deep in that hole that sometimes it's hard to get out of. So I definitely agree with you on that, of make sure that you talk about it and bring yourself out. And sometimes it's harder. It's a little bit easier said than done for,
Mhm.
several reasons, but having people there. And I know that you have that type of personality. If somebody was to be like, Dana, oh my gosh, I know that you would be 100% in to help them and kind of like guide them through anything like that. So
Always. Because I know what it's like to be there,
yeah, yeah. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. They feel like when they get into that, when they feel like they're alone, they're like, oh, nobody's ever going to understand this. And it may not be the exact same scenario, right? It could be similar because, there's millions of people. We don't all have the
Yeah.
same identical, whether it's the same body, the same features, the same accidents or anything like that. But
But it's the same bottom line.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah. So guys, there you go. That tells you right there that you need to open up and find something that makes you happy.
There's so
Right?
many groups on different platforms where there's so many people, and I've used them before, like when you're going through certain things and you see all these hundreds of thousands of people that are dealing with the same problems and they're making day-to-day work. It makes it a lot easier to go through things when you see you're not alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I know that we're bouncing around to these different questions, which we're kind of bouncing between the two of them. But now, do you only do video blogging, or do you like blog on, do you have like a blog platform where you do text blogging or anything like that?
I have a blog, but I haven't messed with it in like 2 years. When I used to do like the big, trips out of the country and things, I would do all of that stuff. But I don't know. I like the video stuff more. It feels a lot more real, and I'm here in your face kind of thing.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah. And that's, I agree with that. It gives your expression a little bit more too. Because you can't really put how colorful you can talk about it in a typed blog,
Right.
but, right? They literally see how colorful you are and how bright your personality is, if they see you on that screen.
I'd rather say it and be it. That'll work.
Right.
It's a lot easier.
So with the blogging and things like that, is there any realities of being a business owner that people might not see that you might could tell them to think about as they're trying to build that business?
I own a sandblasting company too.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, we could talk about
what
that
Rob
too.
does. Yeah. But I'm just saying it's the best decision on the planet to work for yourself, because I feel like, and a lot of people think what I do for a living, the creator thing, is not a real job. And I put it this way. While a lot of people are spending 40, 60 hours a week bettering someone else's business, bank account, and life working for them, I'm spending 24/7 at home with my family, probably making the same amount of money, if not more, and eating at the best places, wearing the best stuff, and happy about whatever it is. So it is a real job. It's a lot of work,
Yeah.
but there's nothing better and more freeing than working for yourself. I can't explain it to you. I've had jobs where I worked for other people and it's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good thing if you can find something that you truly love and enjoy to do every day and share that with other people. It's a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll throw that into that. You said you have a sandblasting business. Now compare the two. Are there differences between the two, between your blogging and your sandblasting business? Because, like you said, people look at being a content creator or doing what you do online is not a job. I mean, it is a
It's
full-time
a
job.
full-time job. Yes, it
And
is.
so people, you could literally compare the two because you have a literal foundational business, right? But you also have an online business. So when people come up and they tell you that and they're like, "Oh, you're a creator. You're not a, if somebody has that question and they're like, "Look, I'm having so much trouble," because maybe they're questioning themselves and they're like, "Oh, this is not a real job." What would you tell them?
Oh Lord. It's so the sandblasting couldn't be more opposite from the creator saying it's
Mhm.
nice and colorful and pretty and fun. And the sandblasting is, I think Rob picked the dirtiest job on the planet that he could actually pick. Like when he has to wear like a suit that gives him air because he's
Mhm.
blasting and he comes home, he's black from head to toe, covered in soot. So it's two opposites, that's for sure. But I don't know. I feel like when you feel like in doubt of something, you have to just, and I know I said this already once, but you have to keep plugging away at it. You kind of have to make it happen.
Yeah.
If that's the best way to explain it, find ways that you can promote more or you can get your product out to more people. Like there are so many different ways or so many different things that you can do to kind of make your business more successful. So you just have to keep at it,
Yeah.
keep it and make your dream happen. That's the best
Have
way to how to explain it.
Have you, now that we're into that, have you ever gone through, because I know I do, imposter syndrome? It's a real thing. Have you ever had that issue? I don't know. You just have that personality. You're so peppy and happy all the time.
Imposter
I
syndrome,
can
like
see
what?
you
In
having
which
that
way? Tell me how you mean that.
issue. So, like, as a creator, I go in and I'm live every day. I try to create content. And then there's days whenever I go in and I go to build something and I look at it and I'm like, I don't even deserve to be able to do this. Does that make sense?
I
It's just,
understand what you mean because I've had a lot of opportunities thrown my way to do things that I would have never seen. I couldn't afford it or I couldn't have went and done. Like I did a big campaign with Disney. Like they flew us out there and they gave us a hotel for a week, give us all this money to shop and all these things to do. Like we got free run of the park before it opened, before everyone else. So I would have never ever been able to do that if I wouldn't have had like the creator thing going on. So yeah, it,
I
it
think,
it's a blessing because I love it. I love to do it every day.
and I think that's a big thing that gets in a lot of people's way. Like I said, because you get imposter syndrome and then you kind of like, almost like you turtle up and you give up. But when you do that, you literally have to push it to the side because if not, it will take you over. And I think it blocks those opportunities, like you just said, is like if you keep your mind open and you look at it as a job, then the world is an open space if you keep your mind open to it, right? I mean, the sky is the limit.
It is. It is. There's so many possibilities and things that you can do.
Yeah. Well, you're doing it, girl. You're doing it.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
You're doing it. You're doing it. So, looking back, are there any lessons from either of the seasons, like after your accident or as you were building in those seasons of life that still guide you today?
This staying present and staying consistent thing, like it's what I swear by. And I always try to stay positive. Like anytime something happens, I always try to try to find the positive in it. And Rob and I are just completely the opposite. I am optimistic. He's very pessimistic. So he's like, you always find the good lining. And I'm just like, the silver lining.
Yeah.
But I have to do that because, it's one of those things, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. So I just keep myself very busy, keep moving forward and stay like right here and now.
Yeah.
That works for me.
And that's a good way to do it. Good way to do it. So in your day-to-day, whether you're blogging, traveling, or you're just living life, what helps you stay grounded in your day-to-day?
Rob and my dog. Like Piper specifically, because she's always there. But without those two, I would probably lose my mind. They keep me sane, especially Piper, because if you get really anxious, it's like they know. They know what's going on, and they know they're like right by your side, and she'll do things like lick my hand because she does like PSA stuff. So yeah, definitely those two. I don't want any small humans. The dog's enough. Just
No.
more than enough. But
So I'm trying to think of how I want to ask this question, because like over the last couple of years now, you've had some issues, whether it be seasonal issues where you've had dizziness and things like that. And that affected you for a little while. Because I remember you coming in and you did a video and like, you was like, guys, this is not my normal. This is,
yeah.
How did that make you feel when you were in the moment of that? Like, I know you and I have talked in the background about it, but you had days where you had no idea what was going on. You
No.
just were like, what is going on? So how did that affect you over the last couple of years? Because I know it's been at least a year,
Yeah.
right?
Lord, I heard about vertigo, but I had no idea how horrendous it was. Like, I'm one of those people that tricks myself into feeling like I have, a sense of control over everything. I try to tell myself that, but when you can't even, like, I was trying to crawl to the bathroom because I was so all over and I was falling over crawling. Like, I felt like I had no control over myself, and that really freaked me out. But I feel like in time, like I go to the doctor for a while, they couldn't figure it out. And then they pegged it on menopause. They said it's all like perimenopausal stuff. So I started to try little things and figured stuff out and kind of regained control of that. And it still pops up a little bit every now and then, but for the most part, everything remains calm. I just don't want it to get back to that. But no, that was like very stressful. I
Yeah.
feel better now.
Well, so we'll throw that in too. So any of the menopausal women in any of those phases of menopause, I mean, I've been through menopause twice.
Oh, this is not fair. This is not fair. Once is enough for a lifetime.
Fair. But so what would you tell any women out there that are going through, maybe they're having something similar, or they're just at that point of feeling, because you get to that point where you do feel like you're not important because of all the things that you're going through. Your body is going in a million different directions. What would you tell any maybe menopausal women out there that might be, whether they're feeling that way, maybe they're going through some of those symptoms? What would you suggest that they do? What would you tell them?
Well, when everything started, I was intent that I was not going to go to any doctors. I was not going to take any medication, and I was just going to struggle with it. After a while, you start to realize that's not the best course of action. I did a lot of research and I looked into things, and it turns out that I feel like everybody should go at least to like an HRT specialist or somebody like a gyno, whatever it is, and talk to them and find out what routes you can take. Because from what I'm understanding, it's helpful for a lot of people. So definitely don't try to like grin and bear it yourself, because it's not going to work. And
And do your research, right? Do
yes,
some
definitely
research.
do your research. We all need a little help sometimes. And this
Yeah.
is like, nobody warned me previous to this. Everybody I talked to, oh, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big deal. Well, that's not how I'm dealing with it.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to ask for help, because it's a big deal. It's a serious, your whole body is completely changing. So don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah. And, I feel like it's a lot of the different things that they put in our foods now and
I
things
agree.
like that I mean, I think that just sends our hormones in rage, because you've got all these extra hormones going into your body from our foods and things like that. So
And the older generations, it seemed to be nothing for them. And all of a sudden, our generation, like X and down, everybody seems to be having all these major issues.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, I agree.
So when you hear the phrase moving forward with grit, what does that mean to you personally and all the things that you've been through?
Inner strength and resilience to be able to take a licking and keep one kicking. You know what I mean? Like keep moving forward and turn it into something better. Because that's the only way things are going to get in a good place, is you got to make something better out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what I think.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a good answer too. I love that. I
Silver
love
lining. Find the silver lining.
be, instead of a pessimist, be an optimist. In
Right.
some ways, you know, I mean, you
Right.
don't have to be that way all the time, but if you see that your glass is half full rather than your glass is half empty all the time, it does. I feel like when you say those happy thoughts, right, it definitely changes. So, guys, I love having these conversations like that. So, one of the last questions I like to ask is, where can they find you? If we've got any listeners in here right now, where can they find you? And go ahead and throw in whatever your label is on all of your platforms, and that way if they go searching for you, they've got it.
I am Dana Truitt everywhere on all platforms. My main is Instagram, and then I'd say it's TikTok and Clapper. Like they're the three largest, but you can generally find me anywhere under Dana Truitt.
Okay. Yeah. Good. So my very last question, is there anything that you want to leave with anybody? Maybe it's some encouragement or something like that. Is there anything you'd like to say before we take off?
That always remember that you can do anything that you put your mind to. Just keep moving forward, stay resilient, and make the next situation better than the last.
Nice. Perfect words. Those are perfect words. Thanks so much, Dana, for hanging out with me today. Remember that this is your journey, but you don't have to do it alone. And we will see you next time. See ya.
Thank you for being here today. If this episode encouraged you, please share it, leave a review, and turn on those notifications so we can continue to grow together. Remember, strength isn't about being untouched. It's about choosing who you become in the process. And wherever you are in your journey, you are not in this alone. This is the grit of the matter. So keep moving forward.